Right. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad that you are here. Tonight, you are joined by Off Grid Aviation. We are pretty excited tonight. Pierce Osborn is with us. If you don't know who Pierce is, he created and engineered a new throttle, and it is an amazing throttle. We're going to talk all about it. Actually, we're going to fire this show off with a little commercial, and it's a perfect little kind of a testimonial video, if you will, of what he's come up with. So I'm going to screen share here and pop some popcorn, sit back and enjoy paraglidingtalk.com. Let it rip. Oh, it's muted. It has really nice music. offgridaviation.com. I want to fire off this show first by saying thank you for logging in and thank you for joining us tonight. There's a bunch of you are logging in as we speak, and there's a bunch of you that have been interested in this throttle since Harvey Milne, Harley Milne put together this excursion where he flew across the continental United States from coast to coast and set a record. By the way, that record still stands right now. So if you want to start planning now to try to be able to beat him. Anyways, this throttle is amazing, and Pierce was kind enough to send me the the model. It's not the latest model, but a model just before this last one. And he sent one ahead of this show, and I got to try it. I've been flying it since I got my motor. It literally, my brand new motor, brand new Parajet Maverick with a Moster 185. We put it on there. So right out of the gate, I got to fly with it. It is an amazing thing. We're going to talk about it tonight. Also, I want to mention a couple sponsors, ppgzone.com. Josh Perry has a website. It's like a, if you will, social media outlet, literally designed for paramotor and free flight enthusiasts. And you're going to really like it. I created a profile and I go in there all the time and mess around and mainly just to troll Josh, but it's really cool. Go check that out. It's ppgzone.com. And you can troll Josh too. It's really fun. Also, this show is brought to you by Midwest Parajet. If you want to check out their website, it's midwestparajet.com. Steve Reed and Scott, they take care of a lot of really good stuff for the flying community. And I just want to encourage you, if you want to get involved in flying, maybe you're in wherever you're at in the country, you can reach out to these guys and they're going to point you in the right direction and get you up in the air. Really good team of people. And they're the ones that helped me get my paramotor. And so really awesome folks over there at midwestparajet.com. The show is also brought to you by PPG Smoke. Ryan Roberts has created a bunch of really cool things for the flying community. He is an engineer, and his stuff that he's brought to the table, his engineering is incredible. Go check out his website, it's ppgsmoke.com. Also, he has recently created this headset, and it's called the Unity headset. And what's going to happen is if you sign up to pre-order the headset, your name will be put in the spinny wheel of Winnie things, and we're going to give away 2 paramotors if everything goes as planned. And one of those is a Simonini 140, and the other is a Simonini 250. And so we're pretty excited about that. Yeah, I know. It's not a frame and gas tank and all that. So it's literally just a motor, but that's still pretty good start because motors are like $3,000. And, that's how it goes. So if you want to get your name in that, all you have to do is go to ppgsmoke.com and sign up to buy the pre-order the headset. It's called the Unity headset, and those things are getting ready to be released. You can get them. You can lock in the low price if you get it before the release date, and then also your name will go into that contest. So excited tonight. Pierce Osborn is with us. Pierce, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for taking the time to invest in our sport. So many people just want to get in and criticize what's out there, and they don't really do anything about it. They just run around complaining on social media everywhere. You actually took it seriously. You said, I'm going to make something of quality. You spent time, money, blood, sweat, and tears, long sleepless nights bagging up these little components, and you brought us something great. And just so you know, I love this throttle, and everybody that I've talked to so far that has it, they think it's amazing. And I'm not going to make this whole show about throttles. I want to talk about your experiences and what you've learned and what your plans are for the future of paramotoring and what you're going to bring to the flying community. And we also want to talk about safety and how we can be safer pilots. So I want to start off by saying, first, thank you. Second, you started this endeavor back in 2009. Is that right?
No, 2019.
Oh, 2019. Okay.
No, I'm not that slow.
Okay. Well, I saw the
I'm
post.
a little slow, but not that bad.
Okay, good. 2019. Maybe that's what I meant to say. 2019, and you said I'm gonna make this throttle something special. Talk about how you got from I'm going to make a throttle that works, and you went through several different models. Before the show, you held up a handful of them. Maybe you can show everybody what you showed me just a second ago. how did you get from the first model to this end model, and just kind of take us through the process, what your thoughts were?
Well, one thing you got wrong, you mentioned there's people that like to just go around and criticize everything that's out there. That is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Like that's the best thing in life, is just to criticize everything other people do, especially when you're not doing anything, because no one can come back and criticize you. So anyway, that's where I was 2 years ago.
Nice.
Just criticizing everything that's out there. So I guess we'll talk just throttles. So I got a mini plane. My first throttle was the mini plane throttle. Somewhere on like my 5th flight or something like that. I guess I didn't have it set up quite perfectly, and the housing actually went and I think touched the engine block and ended up. I was at like, I don't know, cruise throttle. It melted the plastic on the inside, and then gummed up and wouldn't let me off throttle. So like 5th flight, I'm there, full throttle going, well, I'm gaining altitude. I hope my kill switch works. Let me get over this patch of trees, kill it at like 3,000 feet, and then just glide back down to the airport.
Oh,
but yeah, that
my
was
gosh.
that was like flight number 5. And granted, it was my fault for setting it up wrong, but at the same time, new to the sport, didn't really pay much attention to anything other than, I want to get up in the air. So melted that completely. And this was probably 2 weeks or so before we were going to do our big first cross country road trip. So we had a van rental already, had a bed frame and everything, had everything we needed to outfit this rental van to go for a 4-week cross country trip. And of course, new to the sport, I'm bringing this motor and paraglider. So I need a throttle now, and I don't really know how any of this works. So I just bulk buy like any throttle that's in stock, and whatever comes in, I'm putting on. So it turned out the Vittorozzi throttle came in first, and actually I like that throttle. A lot of people give it hate. I don't mind it so much. My biggest complaint is it's a little bit mushy. And more or less just the way it works. You end up wanting to use your top fingers on it instead of your bottom, and I tend to like using my bottom fingers. So didn't really have an issue with the throttle other than, what it is fundamentally. So
nice.
So I used that. Yeah, so I used that for a while. And then I had a whole bunch of other throttles just sitting around. Later got some more hours in, ended up taking some apart. And really, I wanted a cruise control because I noticed I tend to take much longer flights. And after a while, you're like, I don't really want to hold this throttle anymore. So you get looking around and you see there's a ton of throttles with that thumb screw that, locks your throttle input in place, which is fine. It's a simple solution. My big thing is it seems just really unsafe because you need 2 hands to get out of cruise. So if something goes wrong, it's like, oh, great. So now I have to worry about throwing a reserve, pulling in my main chute, and undoing my cruise control. It's like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But you're still on these flights and you want cruise control. So I've been kicking around these ideas in my head of different ways that I can lock the throttle in place. And I came up with the locking mechanism. This is the very first prototype ever made, but just something that I can click in place. It'll lock the throttle. And then if I give any input to the top, it'll come unlocked and it'll bring me back down to 0 throttle. And there's a couple of issues with that. Again, that was my main objective, is to get that system working. But how do I determine where to lock it at cruise? Because not only is my engine going to be different than your engine, my weight, my amount of cruise that I want, everything is going to be different from one system to another, how much throttle input is going to result in cruise. So I needed some way to adjust how much cruise I had, which is why I ended up getting, I have an internal catch that has a thumb wheel that you can adjust up and down. and that'll determine your cruise altitude. So it's funny though, because a lot of people, when they see the throttle, they're like, oh my gosh, it has micro adjusting cruise control. I hear that so much more than I hear, oh, it quickly unlocks, which was the main purpose of the cruise control. Right. So it was an inadvertent secondary feature that more people are excited about than the main one it was designed around. Not that they don't both work, but it's just funny how so many people are excited about that secondary feature than the main, most important one of getting you out of cruise very quickly.
Yeah. By the way, Alejandro Cortez donated $5 to the super chat. Thank you, kind sir. I appreciate that. One person commented, is the world cruise control on a paramotor is dangerous? That was a comment, not a question. And there was another comment or a question here, and it's a question for Pierce. Now that wireless shifters, droppers are becoming popular among cycling community, have you ever thought about building a wireless throttle? And it's funny because his hands are still sore from putting together these throttles. And so I'm interested to hear your answer on that one.
So no, I have, there was somebody a while back who made some Bluetooth throttle. I forget who made it, but I remember that was a real thing back a while ago. And I don't think electronic things are going to be integrated into this sport as far as a main functional thing. Like, all right, we have strobes and they're electric, but you don't need a strobe to fly. So you can avoid that thing altogether. Electric starts are getting more popular, but they're a fraction of the market. Most people are still doing pull starts. And I think a lot of that is it just becomes another thing to maintain. So now we're saying, okay, I haven't used my paramotor in a while. Great. A good day, perfect weather's coming up. Oh, I got to charge it. Oh, that's annoying. So I'm not putting any thought into doing a wireless throttle, but I also think if somebody did and it worked perfectly, I still don't think it would catch on, just because it's another main thing you have to take care of.
Right. I failed to mention something at the beginning of the show. Pierce, he doesn't know, or he didn't know until before the show, but we're going to give away one of these things. And if you're in the chat, we're going to put your name in the spinning wheel of winning things so that you can win one. And maybe you're one of the watchers that doesn't have a paramotor. If that's you, we'll do something special for you, and then we'll spin the wheel again for someone who does have a paramotor and wants one. But I wanted to mention that before we get rolling. The stipulation is that you need to follow Off-Grid Aviation on Instagram. Okay.
Okay. Say that again. Say that again for the guys that didn't catch that. Maybe they're driving or something.
Yeah. So if you're not on Instagram, you do get a pass, but we'll know who you are if you have an Instagram and you're not following them. And we will hunt you down and we'll take back your Off-Grid Aviation throttle. Okay.
Cool. This is the throttle you're going to get?
Yeah. Came prepared tonight, I see.
This is the one from our dust test. So that is going to be your throttle.
You had a feeling that we were going to be giving away throttles tonight.
No, we'll give you a real one.
Yes. Kent Stamey donated $10 to the super chat and said, hello, pair peeps. Welcome. Glad you're here. Kent, I appreciate your contribution to the super chat. By the way, I'll just throw this in. There's a bunch of people that have been supporting the show on Patreon, keeping the show going. If you want to do that, go follow the link that's in the description. By the way, the links for Off-Grid Aviation, for his website, and for the Instagram are both in the chat. Wing It Woody asked this question. He said, I love the idea of single-handed cruise release. Does it still release under full power?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Of course it does. Yes. It is pretty amazing. I really enjoy it. I'm so new to paramotoring. Sometimes I had friends back in the day that would get motorcycles every once in a while, and they would get these machines, and none of us were really amazing motorcycle riders. But it was funny when the new guy would get a really nice bike just because he had money. And I feel kind of like that guy because I don't have a clue about motors, but I got a really sweet machine. And with the throttle and everything, I feel completely spoiled. And so I think personally that, and I've flown 3 different throttles. I obviously like this one the best. I thought in the beginning maybe it was going to be a little hype, but it is all that it's cracked up to be. It's pretty amazing. Let's talk a little bit about the, hey, Adam Martin, thank you for the $5 contribution to the show. Said, great show. It's great because of you guys.
And in the chat, Ripman linked to the Instagram, by the way.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
Thank you,
now's your
Ripman.
chance. Yeah, thanks, Rip. So let's talk a little bit about your engineering background, and then I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about your flying history.
Cool. So engineering background, I actually graduated from Penn State up in Pennsylvania, degree in mechanical engineering. My first job was down in York, Pennsylvania. I worked for a company called Dentsply Sirona, and they are a dental company. So my first job was designing dental equipment. I worked on the preventive team. The specific line I worked on is called the Cavitron. So if you ever go to your dentist and you had an ultrasonic scaler, that's just basically the hygienist can clean your teeth either way. They can use one of those old medieval hand scrapers or a new and advanced ultrasonic cleaner. And it's just a lot less invasive on your teeth. So that was the first product line that I worked on. Specifically, we worked on Cavitron Touch, which was the touchscreen integration to the Cavitron. Literally nobody in the chat cares about dental equipment, so I'll keep this short. But yeah, so anyway, I worked on a lot of that stuff. I was way underpaid. The job was good, but like I wasn't making any money down there. So I started to put some feelers out for new jobs. I ended up getting a job at Yamaha.
Nice.
Specifically on the Wave Runner lines down in Noonan, Georgia, and that was the worst job I've ever had, including all the non-professional. It was the worst, absolutely awful. Wow. Everything about it was terrible. Basically, I was a design engineer there, but we didn't do any design work. So it's a Japanese-owned company, and they have U.S. presence, and basically they had U.S. presence to save on shipping overseas. Yeah. So when I got there, like, yeah, what are we designing? They're like, nothing. Oh, okay. What are we doing all day? We're gonna push paper between the guys in Japan and our vendors here. That's what you're gonna do every day, and it was so awful. I got to ride jet skis like 4 times, and I was still miserable every single day.
Wow,
so,
that's rough.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible.
A few people. Sorry, I wanted to mention this before I forget. Jack Burton donated $5 to the super chat. Mom donated $5 to the super chat, and Nebraska Paramotor donated $25 to the super chat for not being here for a couple weeks.
You know what that is? He's trying to buy our love and affection.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
I mean, it worked for me.
Yeah, see, I told you. Pierce got sucked
Just
right in.
give people free throttles and they put you on their show.
Yeah, that's it. See, it worked.
Isn't that the rule?
That's right. Free stuff to Robert coming on the show. So how, these guys aren't making anything at Yamaha. And so now what are you doing?
They're making a lot. They're making a lot of stuff there. Just the engineers aren't doing the engineering.
What in the world?
At least on the U.S. side, they basically do all the design work over in Japan, and it's not what I enjoyed. So wow. I think day 2, I decided this wasn't going to work. So basically, I got into engineering because I wanted to be a weapons designer.
Nice.
So when I was miserable at Yamaha, I'm thinking, okay, how do I get out of this? So I saw a posting online for a company, Heckler and Koch, and they're down in Columbus, Georgia. And they were only hiring for senior design engineers, really people with like 10 plus years of experience, specifically in the firearms industry. So it wasn't a position for me, but I had no other background in it. So I just went home and started to design guns on my own and just build up a portfolio. So I spent the 4 months that I was working at Yamaha, going home every night, working several more hours, just building a portfolio of guns, which probably wouldn't work in the real world, but they looked good enough on paper. So I got that built up to a point where at Heckler and Koch, I saw there's another posting for younger engineers. I'm like, okay, now I have a portfolio, got in contact with the recruiter, gave him all my documents and everything. And within about 2 weeks, got the job at HK. So
no
hooray.
kidding.
Yep.
What?
Hooray. I'm now a weapons designer and I'm out of Yamaha.
Wow.
So, it's the best way that I quit Yamaha. So I put in my 2 weeks notice, and the next day I get a call from HR saying, hey, 9 o'clock, come over here. We just want to go over some stuff. And I get a warning from one of the other employees, like, you're about to get fired. So you better, purge your desk of everything that you have, put it in your car, and just get ready to never come back here again. And I'm like, good advice. So I go to HR, I get canned. They pay me out for that 2 weeks, but essentially I get canned. They take my badge. But the thing is, at Yamaha, they have a restaurant on location because they have like 2,000 plus employees. They have a full restaurant. And I have like $40 on my restaurant card that I'll never be able to use again. So I go to the restaurant and buy $40 worth of candy, leave Yamaha like this. Bye, guys. Bye. Just awesome. Carrying king size Snickers, all the candy in the world. I gotta go. Never allowed back here again.
Oh my gosh.
See, now the classic move would have been to find your boss's favorite candy bar and get every single one of them.
Yeah. Buy all of
them. No. The classic move. So in all the bathrooms there, they have huge bathrooms. They have graffiti on all the stalls from the employees who hate life.
Oh my
gosh. There's a note on each of the doors saying, if you keep graffitiing the doors, we're taking the doors away. And I should have gone in and graffitied the whole building.
Yeah. Took the whole thing away.
Taking the doors and gone.
Oh my
word. So anyway, then I go to HK. HK is awesome. They're about to build, when I get there, they're about to build a new facility. They have an old facility. It's a little small, but they're investing in a new research and development team. They're building a whole new complex just for U.S. products. So temporarily, they have us in a double-wide trailer, which is way over capacity, while this new building is being built. So I got to be there for like the glory days of, we lived in the trailer for a while trying to design these new guns.
That's awesome.
So we were designing guns for a while, and that worked well. Got over to the new building. That was epic. It was so nice to be part of like something brand new. I was part of the first U.S. research and development team at HK. It was like it was really like a dream job. So we moved in the new building, and I suddenly have money for paramotors, which I had been eyeing up for years and years and years. Oh, yeah. And now suddenly I have enough money that I can do this. So then I just bit the bullet, and so to speak, and did it.
Justin Schoen donated $10 and he said, hello from Nebraska. Love to always see great innovative products. # shut up, Josh. And also John Wayne commented with a $10 contribution and said, just ordered my throttle. So congratulations, John Wayne. You're
Sweet,
part
thank
of the
you.
Off-Grid Aviation clan.
Part of the family.
Yeah, you're part of the fam now. John Wayne's he's a part of the Paragliding Talk fam. He's been around for a little while now. Great contributor. By the way, speaking of contributors, this show's brought to you by paramotorprops.com. Paramotor Props. If you are looking for a great deal on props, go to paramotorprops.com. Best deals on the interwebs. The show is also brought to you by paraorangeproducts.com. Larry and Chris, they've made all kinds of things to protect your gear, and they even sell gear. Best products that you can find in the orange color. Go check them out. The website is paraorange.com or paraorangeproducts.com. I also want to mention this. If you're a local here in San Diego and you have some issues with your plumbing, this show is brought to you by American Allied Drains and Plumbing. This is my first non-paramotor sponsor. Oh, it's good. It's tasty. American Allied Drains and Plumbing. Their phone number is 844-777-9055. If you mention Paragliding Talk, you will get a 10% discount on whatever services, and that could be a lot. Saw these guys doing a project that was probably like a $10,000 project, and you could save 10% just by saying Paragliding Talk. Amazing. Go check out their website. If you just Google search American Allied Drains, or just go to the description, link in the description. Yeah. I think we should spin the wheel. No?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, okay. So right now at this second, no more names going in. Already
no
done.
more names going in.
I got everybody's name already in. It's already been in the chat. So there you go, y'all. Okay.
I feel like we're short on moderators tonight.
I know, right? It's like we're all naked back here on the internet.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna send out some invites here.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna share my popcorn. I'm gonna share my screen here. All right, y'all can see my screen now, right?
Oh yeah.
There's the screen.
Look at this. Nice 75 entries. Now y'all got to hit that like button because we got good guests like this guy here.
His name is Pierce.
Like Pierce. I'm terrible with names. Hey, the guy's got talent. If I could make handles
and, okay, I should have put my name instead of the company.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I get, right? All right, here we go. Spinning the wheel, and now.
The spin of this wheel is brought to you by Nebraska PPG. Josh Bowden runs a school in Nebraska, and if you're interested in getting some top-notch training, you can sign up with Josh and his team today. Do it. You'll get, even if you want mediocre training, he can do that too. This show is also brought to you by AMSOIL products. Many of the leaders in our sport are using AMSOIL Sabre 2-stroke oil. And if you like to get a really good deal, you can reach out to me on paraglidingtalk.com. Just hit the contact form and send me a message. Get you really good deals on oil. And Blank has won. It's literally a blanks.
What?
Oh my word. Is it?
Who's it gonna be?
It's gonna be Matt Cowan.
Oh,
that was so close to Bob Garber. Matt Cowan, congratulations. Okay, so here's how this is how it's gonna go down. Okay, Matt Cowan. Right now, Chris Fenmore. He said, I just ordered my throttle. Thanks, Chris. Congratulations.
Congrats and thank you.
You just upgraded. So, Matt McCown. I got to write his name down. As long as you are a follower on Instagram of our faithful friend here, you can be the new winner.
Should I watch and make sure he doesn't subscribe right now?
Yeah. Make sure you have your phone out. If it dings, you have a new subscriber.
He's in the chat. He is in the chat. He said cha-ching. So
okay, so he's good. He's got it. He's in. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to try to spin the wheel and again because he doesn't fly or something like that. DP donated $10 and he said alms for the poor. Thank you, DP, for that generous contribution for the poor. And that is amazing. Yeah, Matt Cowan nailed it. Yeah, he's got a picture of a motor in the back there. I'm sure he's serious. Oh, he was already a follower. Yep.
Perfect.
Already. Congratulations. Cue the round of applause. Winner, chicken dinner.
Woo.
So let's talk a little bit about your how did you start off flying the elusive butt fan?
Sure. Let me just close out my career. HK was great, and then I moved on.
You don't work for HK anymore.
No, I work for Daniel Defense now.
Okay, well, that's an upgrade. I was going to say
Yeah,
HK is amazing, but Daniel Defense is like up
great.
here. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
still friends with all the HK guys. They're an awesome group of people.
I am stoked right now. Okay.
Woo.
I love Daniel Defense. I don't have one,
but
great. I should have just bought one because I think I spent more with what I put together.
Well, we do offer a California compliant, so for some reason.
I unfortunately lost all my
Not
weapons
that you can find
accident.
one right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, that closed out the career, and that's it.
Okay, so how did you end up getting? How did you start flying it? And I want to talk about safety before we get too far off track, because there's a lot of people that come here to learn something to make them safer pilots every week.
Cool. So my start into flying, I had like literally the worst way that you can get into flying. Okay. So one, I've been eyeing up the sport forever. So I always wanted to do it, just never had the money. So then suddenly when I got the money, I did it, and I went to a school that was close. Now, I don't want to badmouth everybody in the industry, but I went to a guy and it was awful. It was.
Now, let me just ask this one question. Where do you live?
Right now I live in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay, don't say anything else. I know who your instructor was.
That's not where I learned. I learned when I was in Columbus, Georgia.
I'm just kidding. I was totally joking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I made quite a travel to go to a school, but it wasn't really a school. It was I think a retired guy who just kind of does it on the side. One of those schools where they don't have training units. You have to buy everything. Then you train on your own gear, which is no longer the type of school that I recommend. Now, I would only recommend go to schools that rent the gear. If they don't rent it, don't do it right now. It's too high an investment too early. And it's terrifying handing someone $15,000 and then not getting training for weeks. Wondering, are they just going to run away with my money? I don't know what's happening. So it's not a good way to get into the sport. Always go to a school that has training units. Even if they offer to train you on their own units, that's fine. Like on their personal units, that's fine. Don't use your own stuff. So that is my caveat. There's tons of great schools out there, but my caveat is do the ones that don't make you buy the equipment first.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if I ran a school, I would be one of the bad ones, and I'd be like, yeah, you better bring your own stuff because you're not breaking mine.
Buy at least one. Yeah. It's a business expense. Who cares? Buy one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got all my gear. I forget what I even bought. It was like a Polini with some frame. Anyway, it takes like 6 weeks to get there. Meanwhile, I start this in like February, and I have this road trip where I want to go flying in, I think it was end of August. So it's like, I got plenty of time to learn how to do this, get plenty of flights in before the trip, going to be great. So get the wing comes in, fine, but it's not worth coming in, making that trip out just for the wing if there's no motor. So I'm waiting more weeks for the motor. Motor finally comes in. I go to training, and it's not assembled. It's like, oh no, I want to show you how to assemble it. And I'm like, fair, but I'm annoyed because we're wasting the morning.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the whole way. Oh, and also I spent literally the whole day there. And it was like, well, we went through some kiting in the morning. Now we'll wait till the afternoon and we'll kite some more. So I had like 9 hours that I'm sitting here going, do we have classwork? Is there literally anything we can do? He just kind of goes around going, you got any questions? No, you tell me the stuff. Tell me the stuff and let me think of questions as I go. So anyway, motor comes in. We try to put it together. Certain holes to put the thing together aren't drilled in it from the factory. Not that it's not supposed to come that way. It just accidentally got shipped without the holes. So he's like, yeah, I can drill some of these holes for you. I'm like, no, you are not drilling the holes in my
aircraft
$7,000 unit.
Yeah.
So no, send it back. And then that's when they came out with the mini plane Moster. So we ended up shipping that back get a mini plane with a Moster in, and that's all fine. Everything's good, except it takes like 2 months for this to come in too.
So you chose the Moster 185?
Yeah.
Why did you choose that?
Because it was available and I was mad.
And you had something smaller the first time, right?
So it was what does Polini make? Is they make like a 180 or something?
Polini, I think it's a 125, no?
Maybe it was a 125. I think I had that.
Okay.
But I forget because I only had it for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So anyway, we got rid of it, and we got the mini plane with the Moster. So that was good. No, I wanted the Moster because I knew I was going to go to places with high altitude, for this road trip. And in my head, I was thinking like, oh no, what if a mini plane top 80 can't get me there? Which obviously it can, but that was my mindset at the time. And I'm like, Moster 185, let's do it. So I got one and I still have it. So it all worked out.
Nice. You've got a fan in the chat, by the way, Leif Osborn. He said,
"Oh,
hey,
Leif,
Pierce.
That's my brother. He's
Leif.
Yeah, hey, Leif.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my brother.
Nice. He's in the chat.
Sweet.
Yeah. Is he a younger brother or older brother?
He's my older brother. He lives over in San Francisco, so he understands the struggle that you Californians have to deal with.
Okay. Yes. Yep. We're hurting people. Except for the flying stuff. I mean, we can fly all the time pretty much.
Yeah, no, if it wasn't for California being like the most beautiful state that there is, there'd be no reason to live there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My main issue with California is it takes up the entire West Coast. And that's not fair because the East Coast, at least we have, so many states that have access to the ocean. California was greedy and they just took the whole thing and then they destroyed it internally. So, yeah, that's my problem with California.
California. Yep. Yeah. So we have some interesting characters in the chat, and we've got people from all over the place. The main reason why most people come each week is to learn something that they could take with them, say, oh, that's awesome. I want to add that to my safety repertoire. What do you offer our show and our listeners tonight that you can say this will make you a safer pilot?
When you're getting into the sport, get the training first and then figure out what more do you want from there. You'll end up in my situation where you just get somebody who talks up some product and you really don't know anything in this sport until you get into it. There's no way of really telling like, oh, what's good, what's not. Everybody online has good things and bad things to say about every single product that's out there. So get some field work in with some gear before you get your own. I think that's the smartest thing you could do. And the thing that I didn't.
All right. What are your thoughts about the future of the sport?
Unfortunately, I think this sport will get regulated. That's a controversial take.
Yeah, I want to hear it again.
Unfortunately, I think this sport will get regulated.
And why do you say that?
Everything does, especially when it starts to get popular. And this sport is blowing up. So I think it's inevitable that, especially with people doing dumber and dumber things in more public forums, it's just going to bring unwanted attention. So it's not something that I want, but I do think it will come.
And what do you think will be the tipping point and the straw that breaks the camel's back?
I don't think there'll be one thing. I think it's going to be a series of incidents, possibly states issuing, having issues with paramotors, especially in these public places. Who knows? But I don't think there's going to be one, because really one paramotor can't cause that much damage. But I think it's going to be a repetitive thing as people keep doing things, keep violating airspace, keep getting stuck where they're not supposed to get stuck. I do think regulation will come, unfortunately.
Now, I was thinking about this before the show. General aviation is heavily regulated, and at some point there was some freedom to fly, and now it's regulated. Do you see the same thing happening?
Yeah, and granted, this is just speculation. Yeah. So they have sport pilot certification now. So that's sort of been in between, even though it's still almost as cost prohibitive as just getting your pilot's license. I could see there being another tier below sport pilot where it's for single man aircraft. I could see that being possible. Who knows? Again, I don't want it, but I do think something like that will come.
I think, I was approached the other day. Actually, Gringo was with me, and a guy came up to us and he goes, "Oh, are you guys, have you heard about the guy in LA who's flying in commercial airspace?" And this guy is flying it's a jetpack. He's flying a jetpack. So he flies a jetpack and he gets up to about $3 or $4 grand, and he's right in line with the air traffic. So he immediately associated that with us flying paramotors, and I was like, no, jetpacks are a whole different thing. I don't know what that is, but it didn't matter. So we need to find Jetpack Man and talk to him because he's blowing it.
So there's a handful, or I guess not many, of those commercially available jetpacks, and like 12 have sold. So they know everybody who has one. So it's like, right. Is this some guy who just built it by himself? Because these things are not selling.
Right. And the other thing is there is a new world coming soon of have you follow Gravity? You seen those guys? It's
Gravity
the
paramotors?
No, the jetpacks that you put on your arms.
Yes, those things are sweet.
They're
very cool.
Coming to us soon. Obviously you can get training now, and they're extremely expensive, but there's going to come a place where those are going to be common.
Those are so cost prohibitive right now. Even if they halved in price every 5 years, we are still far off from those being very viable.
Yeah. We said the same thing.
I don't think there'll be enough. What's that?
I was going to say, we said the same thing about virtual reality and augmented reality, and that's all on the table now.
I'll still take my butt fan and bed sheet any day of the week.
Yeah.
It's cheaper on gas. It probably makes a lot less noise. Heck of a lot safer.
Yeah. Can you imagine the noise of those jets on your arms? You better have some really good hearing protection.
Imagine the strain on your shoulders. It'd be like riding one of them, what they call a crotch rocket, where you're laying on a gas tank and you're all like this, and you're doing 80 miles. No thanks.
It's more like 180, Sean. And I used to have one.
I'd much rather sit in a lawn chair in the sky and just be like, woo, Yeah.
Let's be fair. We're just saying that because we can't afford it. I would totally take a jetpack if I could have one.
I would too.
No.
Come on, man. You could take off and cook your dinner at the same time because they jet out like 2,000 degrees. It'd be perfect.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got to worry about catching your shoe on fire, man. You got shoes on. The stuff's flammable on your legs. I don't know. You got fans or something. I got dreads. They can get sucked in. That wouldn't be any good.
By the way, this show is brought to you by iFly Indiana Powered Paragliding. If you're interested in flying paramotors, no better place to get the proper training than iFlyIndiana.com. Kevin and his team will get your feet off the ground. This show is also brought to you by Lone Star Paramotor. If you're in the Lone Star state of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan and his team for world-class training. And so if you want to reach out to them, you can do it on their website at LoneStarParamotor.com. Also, this show is brought to you by Torrey Pines Glider Port. If you are in the sunny Southern California and you want to get some training of free flight, and they will also point you in the right direction if you want to get trained on a paramotor. Didn't know that, did you? Well, now you do. Website is flytorrey.com, and you can reach out to Max Marion. He's a regular on the show and an awesome individual, and appreciate what they do for the show. They contribute financially to the show for sponsorship. If you would like to become a sponsor of the show, reach out to me through the wonderful world of the internet. Paraglidingtalk.com is the website, and just hit contact. And there's all kinds of good stuff that you can get through advertising. Everything works pretty good. so far. Yeah. So I appreciate everybody that's watching tonight. I have another question. Talk about a time, Pierce, when you were out of control, and what did you learn?
I forget what flight this is. I'd have to look back at my log. One of my very early flights. Again, let me scroll through the last bit of my training. Basically, we sent the motor back. I got one flight with the instructor's personal paramotor in my wing, which was a mini plane top 80. Great, did one flight. It was all fine. Kept delaying. Suddenly, I get the paramotor, and I'm out of time before my trip to fly, and he has no availability to train me anymore. So I have to do the self-taught route.
Wait,
so
what?
One of my, yep.
Did you get your money back?
Nope, gone. Money's gone.
No way.
All gone.
Did you ever talk to the guy?
No, I'd spend more money on a lawyer than I would.
No, we need to throw the guy under the bus. Is he still burning people?
No, I don't think he does it anymore.
What in the world? Ooh, okay. We'll talk about that in the after show. I want to know more details.
Yeah, but anyway, one of my early flights, I tried to take off near one of my local airports, and it had rained at some point, and I didn't scout the location as well as I probably should. And of course, early flying, my takeoffs take way longer than they do now. So, get the wing up. It's stable. I'm running. I'm coming up on the throttle, and I hit a patch of mud. My feet slide out, and garage sale all over the airport. Blew up my prop, blew up my motor, blew up just about everything on it. Cost $2,000 to fix.
Oh,
and that
no.
was that. So that was me being, well, one, very inexperienced, and coming up on this timeline for this trip, really wanting to be able to take off, because I was going to some epic places. I was going to Sedona, Lake Tahoe, to Moab. Like, I'm going to all the you have to fly there places.
Yeah.
And now I got to learn. So, yeah, didn't scout the field, didn't have the right training to be doing what I was doing. Slipped in the mud, blew up everything. Ended up going to the guys over at Eric's PPG. They're awesome, by the way. Though I think they've split, and it's now what's the name? Zombie Air Force is the name of the airport. But he was able to fix everything on my motor in time for the trip, and it worked out so perfectly that I was able to go on this trip. He gave me we'll call it a crash course. He gave me a daily crash course on tips and tricks. So I'm like, Bill, got on time. I'm going on this trip. You got anything to tell me? So he kind of gave me the rundown one morning, showed me a bunch of things, and then, I left and went and flew in Sedona and Moab.
Oh, you did? I saw the pictures on your website, and I assumed that you did those trips.
I went back to Sedona this year and had a much better flight. My first flight, all I was doing was going up really high and seeing things because I wasn't confident enough to come down low. When we did a road trip again last year, we went back to Sedona, and I was able to fly much lower around the things with, a good bit more experience. So that was one that I like. I have to go back to Sedona and have a better flight here.
That is awesome. Yeah, what a cool place. I visited there once. I grew up in Arizona, so I do want to put that's on my bucket list to go fly there. And a couple other really cool places. We should probably
Sedona is so cool. Just not even just for paramotoring, for everything. I mean, we took mountain bikes. We went hiking. There's so much you can do. The mountain biking there is phenomenal too. If anybody does biking.
Yeah, my buddy Tony Boyer, he takes a trip there every year, and pretty amazing pictures.
So what you're saying is, it's not just a place; it's an experience.
Yeah. Go get your crystals.
Yeah.
Go get your crystals. Get your healing energy.
Yeah, that's funny. I do want to mention that. Thank you guys for being a part of the show for so long. This is episode 163 tonight. And some of you guys have been a part of the show from the very beginning. So I want to give a special shout out to the guys that help kind of pioneer this show and have been a part of it from the beginning. I do also want to say that we're not only going to be just having shows on paramotoring. Right now, there's been a spike on paramotor stuff because I'm just so excited about having a motor. I still absolutely love free flight. And I've been free flying, and as the summer approaches, obviously free flying is a easy one to go to since my backyard is blossom. But I do want to just say thank you guys. Really appreciate how long that you guys have been supporting and being involved and engaged, and the show just keeps on. I get excited every Thursday night. I'm all fired up to come here and be on here with you guys. And thank you for the moderators that stick it out. Sean, thanks for what you do every week. And I really appreciate what's happening with the future. By the way, I want to do a special mention for Resurgence PPG. If you are looking for some, since it's almost going to be tax day, April 15th is coming up soon. It's not too late to make a donation to resurgenceppg.com. They're a 501c3. And what you're investing in is sponsoring our men and women of uniform to get involved in a sport. And what happens is a lot of these guys will get sponsored, and they might be dealing with PTSD. They might be dealing with some frustrations from battle. Different things happen. We don't understand it. The civilian world doesn't have a clue what they go through. And this is like an amazing outlet for them. And so I want to just encourage you to support it. You can do it on, there's a way, it's Amazon Smile, and you can choose a charity that they will donate a portion of whatever you buy off Amazon. And I think you can do it if you just follow the links in Amazon Smile, and it'll say choose your deal, and then it'll list a bunch of them by itself, but then it'll say other, and then other you can type in Resurgence PPG, and then it will pop up. I did it, and each year they pop out a pretty significant amount of money to Resurgence PPG. So I want to encourage you to do that. Sign up with them, and if you can, reach out to Todd Scandrett, who runs Resurgence PPG, at resurgenceppg.com. Any other questions that we have for Pierce? And I do want to say thank you all for the support and the generosity in the chat to support Off-Grid Aviation. I'm not just saying that I love the throttle because he sent me a free one. I had one. I had a perfectly fine one that came with my motor, but I talked to a handful of guys that have it, and they're like, it's amazing. You're really going to like it. And right when you grab a hold of it and play with it the first time, you'll know right away. It's amazing. You're really going to enjoy it. Comes with a little bag of parts. I wanted to mention that. Comes with this little bag of options, parts for different scenarios, different motors. So he really thought about a lot with this setup. And so this wasn't haphazardly put together, really well engineered. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen. He's got like 200 sitting on a table in his garage right now, I think.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore, I don't.
They're flying off the shelf. Are you checking your email right now? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. I got a lot of pings during this.
I figured. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm almost half depleted of everything.
No kidding, already. Wow.
Almost, yep.
Great.
Okay, well, that's
we're
good.
Doing our job.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Really excited. So with that,
come get them while they're here.
If you want to order one, if you want to get a hold of him, you can message him on Instagram, and it is Off-Grid Aviation, and the link is in the description. And then the website is the same, link in the description, Off-Grid Aviation. And there's some hyphens or underscores or whatever in there. And you'll find it.
Off and grid, correct?
Off-Grid Aviation.
Off-grid-aviation.
There we go.
Get most of it in Google. It'll do the rest.
Yep, that's what I did. And, great question. Chris Fenmore asked, what's the warranty on the throttle? Great question.
Yeah, we'll handle anything that breaks. If it breaks, just contact us. We'll make it right.
Handle. Gotcha. handle. They'll handle it. Yeah. Well, you guys are awesome. We're going to go to the after show. If you want to be a part of the after show and you're one of the contributors, one of the super chat or Patreon or PayPal supporters, just drop your information in the chat and I will send you a link. So I need your email, and it will be blurred out so that nobody can see it. And we're going to go to the after show. If you have any questions for Pierce, you can ask away. And I'm pretty excited tonight. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. We will see you on the next one. Thanks again, Pierce. Sean, thanks for moderating, and we will catch you on the next one. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in the air. Thanks for watching.